I'm including my audio.
All right, Scrub Squad. It's week 10. We're heading towards week 11. It's been a fucking minute. This isn't safe for work. I'm going to tell you that right now. We got Cam, Detroit. We got the champs in the building. And of course, we got Snake Plissken in this bitch. What up, Snake?
Hey, what up, everybody?
How's it going, guys?
Now,
we missed you last week, bro.
I missed you guys. I really did. I'm in that bitch mopping floors, just knowing you guys are having a good time. And then I tried to listen, and the community's been addressing this issue. Somehow we didn't have an archived SquadCast. I mean,
hey, we didn't even have a viewing squad or a listening squad for the first half of the show.
So it was like
this guy right here.
It was like one of those silent private like viewings, like when they drop a new album, like.
Let's just put it this way. I fucked up. I'll take full ownership that my archive for some reason doesn't work. But secondly, it's my fault for not putting up the podcast was live. So halfway through the show, I'm like, man, I guess Elgato's fans they are the only viewers we get every week. So
they're loyal, dog.
They are loyal. They are loyal.
But let's not hold everyone up. We've got some serious topics to address. We don't have a lot of time. So I know everyone wants to hear about these power rankings. Now, I heard at one point that the Packers were ahead of the Browns in the power rankings. I haven't been able to pay attention too much, but wow. That's that's all I could say is wow. So
I don't want to shit on the Packers, but I doubt that stays the way it does. But
look,
I don't know.
You're not the only one that is willing to shit on the Packers. Chef has went out on the line of saying that the Packers are actually going to fall out of contention and the Bears will take their playoff spot.
The Bears, huh?
Yep, the Bears.
I tell the guy to come on the podcast, and I told him he's going to get shit on if he doesn't come on, but he's literally getting shit on. So there you go. He misses one show, and
early and often
happens. But no, we got number one in the power rankings in the house. So, and Super Bowl champ. Only one still in the league.
Yeah,
Tell us how it's done, bro.
Yeah.
Just air the ball out. Air the ball out, play good defense. Just keep on throwing the ball till you can't throw anymore.
I like this guy.
So a real Andy Reid philosophy.
Yeah, use your running back in the passing game, and then run to set up the pass.
Damn
Donovan
right.
Donovan McNabb has a boner right now hearing this.
Probably throw 70% of the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna go Bill Belichick in the house and just say, hey, we got the Teddy Bruschi and Connor Stanford here too, just to save the day every week.
Man, that.
Yeah. I found him in free agency last year, week 3. Had his first season with the Steelers. I checked on his stats. Steelers let him go for some reason. I guess he just liked Holloway, who he also let go. So I found him in free agency, and I like him, so I use him.
So you're saying the Steelers did something wrong for a change?
Well, no, this is a league tip. The Steelers has such continual growth in his young players that some of these guys are bound to hit the market at some point. You can't pay everybody. So, look for the Steelers crumbs. I'm sure there's something good in there. I think that's the moral of the story.
And go on Daddy Leagues and look at the transactions, because there's always somebody dropping somebody that's decent, and you can usually pick somebody up that's decent as a replacement or even a starter over your guys.
So, talking about the Steelers, they're number 2. They're undefeated. I feel that they're number 2. Do you guys have any disagreement with that?
Well, just one last thing, tidbit.
Okay.
We did call the Detroit Lions the trash team. We didn't realize we were calling them the trash picker team. So now at least it makes a lot more sense here.
Yeah, I just pick up people's trash. That's the goal of the team.
There you go. But yeah, I totally agree with the Steelers. They're there every year. They've earned it. They're cream of the crop every year. It's just he's got to get over the hump this year.
Well, it's ever since Spider started in season 1. I mean, I remember him putting up 40 points continually against solid opponents. And it's like you said, he's just that brass ring is just out of reach, just a touch. The Bills beat him out to that Super Bowl last year in that playoff run. I mean, AFC's always tough, so it'd be interesting to see if the Steel Curtain can get back to it.
Yeah, I'd say that they have a good shot. Browns is on a mission right now after starting 0-2.
Shockingly, shockingly 0-2.
Not really. The last 2 years, him and Bills have started off struggling, and then they just turn it up when they need to. At least that's what I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, we've always talked about the Bills having somewhat of a slow start. I like the Steelers a lot. I'm hard pressed to bet against the Steelers in any game I see pop up very often. So I'd like to see them make it to the Super Bowl, probably out of all those teams. I mean, we're going to get to it, but as Cam brought up to our attention, Melvin Gordon's out for 7 weeks. The Bulldogs are always a tough out in the playoffs, but without your big dog, I mean, are you going to slide in the rankings a little bit? Could you fall out of contention? I think that's going to affect the AFC playoff picture a lot more than what we anticipate off rip.
Being in the division with Bulldogs, I firsthand see the growth of where he goes from one season to the next. And the one thing I've noticed is he went very heavy when he first started as run attack, defense attack, but now it's like all defense, and he hits you in the mouth with those big deep throws. He really hasn't dedicated a lot of time to the run game. So as much as this is a big hurt, it might not be as much as you think. If anything, it kind of tells everybody, hey, don't worry about the run game, even though they shouldn't have been right from the get-go. But he's been more pass-heavy this year and last year than everybody realizes. So it's not really as big of a hurt as a lot of people will tend to realize in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
I think it's a bit of a hurt because he uses his running back in the pass game really well. So he uses them in screens and out of the backfield, and that's where I think he's going to struggle with a non-Melvin Gordon running back.
I'll give you that.
So that would take us to the number 3 in our power rankings. I think, I think this is either between the Eagles and the Rams. I know the Eagles just gave you a pretty good game this last week. The Rams have played good ball all season. I didn't get to play him the second time. I know he took it to me the first time we played. So I mean, the Rams are having a good season. Isn't his only loss to Carlos?
To Browns, I believe.
Yep, that's Carlos. Yep. So
yeah, so
I mean, if you're looking at
it, to me game.
Yeah, so I feel like the Eagles on that note of quality, like loss, more or less, would get the nod to 3, and I'd have the Rams at 4. Is that agreeable?
Yeah, I mean, he plays the Steelers though this week. So what are we gonna do? Knock him down another notch if he loses that game? I mean, you lose against 2 of the best. Even if he does, it's like
you got to fall
really
at that point. I mean,
so?
It depends on who else wins, though. Because, I mean, if you're looking at it, you have the Bulldogs and the Jaguars and the Browns and the Bills. They're all sitting at 6-2. So if they come in and they have a really good win against a quality power 4 opponent, or we used to, we had the top 8, we used to call it. If they come in there and they win a pivotal game, yeah, I could see them jumping up like a few spots in the power rankings easily.
See, I think the Eagles are top 3. I mean, in that 3 spot, because right now, when you're looking at how you build through defense and running, who else has a running back that could go 99 speed anytime?
Only one.
Yeah, I mean, his run game's great. His defense is really, really good. He becomes about one-dimensional, which is worrisome if he can't run the ball, but he can never not run the ball. So when
just
will
a
he
matter
lose?
of how strong of a game it is the running.
Yeah.
Can Can we at least get a prediction on the defensive MVP of the year? Because I've heard a lot of talk between the Lions and Eagles, and since we got one of them on the show, I kind of want to hear who's the better man here.
Stanford, no question. Best middle linebacker in the league. Gonna break the record this year if he doesn't get hurt.
Is that due to his acceleration or height?
Acceleration and height. His height's great because he's 6'3". A lot of people don't think about it, but you really need a middle linebacker that's 6'3" and above if you want to get a lot of picks, because people think they can throw over them.
I found that the hard way.
Anthony Barr is a really great middle linebacker.
Yes, he is at 6'5".
I wish the Vikings would have moved him to that, but I think his growth is a little stunted at this point.
That's why I like Aaron Lynch so much. I'll probably end up sliding him the middle linebacker when Bowman retires. He's 6'5".
Yeah, you just got to worry about the injuries on your end. That's the only thing that's plagued you with quarterback this year.
Yeah. I mean, and I was busy with like just shit in general. I didn't have enough time to focus. I'm not gonna make any excuses. I got my ass drug a couple games. Just wasn't able to get into it. But, I want to make a point, though. I'm looking at this best linebacker for the NFC, Lawrence Reeser. He's still a Redskin after all those nice players got moved from the Skins and then we lost a user. Brings up our point of how we should have limited trading for new users because the Redskins kind of got fucked. They lost McPherson. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get off topic too much. We got too much to talk about. We'll talk about that shit later. But anyway,
you're good.
Lawrence Reeser, killing it for the Skins. Supposed to be an undrafted pick in our first draft. Got selected in the first round. He's out here looking like fucking LT. Then you got Agent H in third with the Eagles. He's having a good season. It seems like he's fallen behind on the picks a little bit. I believe he's about 5 behind Stanford. So I'd really have to go with Stanford with our Defensive Player of the Year right now. Because, I mean, even if there's a defensive lineman that's getting sacks like crazy, I'm sure Olivier is killing it out there. But if you can take picks from the other team and you can, more likely than not, you're going to control the field of possession or possession of the field. So time of possession, holding that shit down, that's like old school football.
I hear you.
Blunt's kicking in a little bit.
All right, so where are we at? So we had, what is that, top 4? We'd say with the Eagles and the Rams, pretty much?
Yep. So then we're looking at Chef, Bulldogs, Bills, Browns. How would you guys throw those guys together?
I'll let Lions go on this one. I have my take on it.
I would put probably Chef third because he had a really rough, or he almost beat London. He was really close to beating until Bugs fumbled with his 99 carrying. But Chef's kind of fallen off a bit. He just lost to Tra, which is a good opponent, but Tra usually doesn't get those wins against great opponents. So
his defense got exposed a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to put Browns in 5 because London just got exposed by the Bills a couple weeks ago. So
Yep.
Another one of Browns, man. What did he pay you to say all these good things about him? Shit. Holy crap.
Well, not even looking at the stats, I'd have to agree with him. If it was up to me, I'd put we just had a simulated match against the Bills and the Browns, so it's really hard. So they're more or less tied in my eyes.
I have trouble putting the Browns ahead of his brother in Bulldogs.
I would too, but this season with the injury right now, yeah. So I would go Bills 5. I'd hold the Bulldogs at 6, and the Bills would be at 7. And then I'd drop the Jags to 8.
Okay. The
only reason the Jags are fallen is precisely what Cam had said. But also, Saucy Reeds isn't back. I'd like to see what happens when Saucy hits the field again.
I agree.
So from there, I think we can go forward with them. But until then, I'd have to put the other teams above them.